Now this house isn't nearly as big as the Winchester house, but I guess you would be a small, could be considered a small Victorian mansion. Love the windows and the shutters.
Yeah, that's the man himself.
Ah, Mr. Folly.
Yes, have you been to Korner's Folly before?
No, just the outside. Just the outside, yeah.
Well, come on in. That's also the man himself.
Okay, when he was younger.
Yeah, that's actually his self-portrait.
You don't mind me?
Please, go ahead, take as many photographs and videos as you'd like. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Are you the wallpaper is awesome too.
Yeah, that's great recreation. Yeah, but it's towards the beginning of the tour.
I love that. It makes me think of, in a way, Vegas, how they have the ceilings painted. Well, the Sistine Chapel as well.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
And it was
Cupids.
Sort of a common practice all through the 1700s and then 1800s as well. You'll see a lot of these. This one's actually a recreation. And sort of a little bit of artist interpretation, but some of them, this is the only one that's been repainted, so the rest are going to be original.
Is some of the woodwork original?
Oh, all of it. 100% of the woodwork is all original, and it was actually carved by hand, and a couple of the designs were trademarked by him.
Oh.
So this one here is egg and dart, and that one is beading, and then this one here is roping.
Awesome.
Yeah. While he was a lot of things, in his heart of hearts, he was an interior designer. And this house served, at first, both his bachelor pad and then also sort of his design portfolio. What was his
major, what was his career? What did he do?
Let me give you the rundown. So how he got his money was he worked for Bull Durham Tobacco.
Okay.
And so what he would do was he would go around and paint advertisements, and he's done, around 300 that we know of. From here to the Mississippi.
Yeah.
It's a very funny story. So what he would do was he would paint these on the side of buildings, sometimes up to 150 feet tall, but he would paint anatomically correct bulls. So it'd show everything.
Yeah.
And in Victorian time, that was a no-no.
Yeah.
So then he would go home after he painted it, and he would pen into the town newspaper, and he'd say, pretending to be a Victorian woman, he'd go, oh, my delicate Victorian eyes, I simply can't handle this. And so they'd print in the newspaper, and the next day, the whole town would come out and see his advertisement, and then he'd come in with his, buckets of paint and his paintbrush, and he'd go, I'll save the day. And then he would paint a little fence over it.
Okay.
And then he'd go, I've saved the day, and all of your Victorian delicate eyes. And so it would drum up so much controversy and so much, and then he'd be the hero at the end of the day. So all these people would want to come see the spectacle of the day. So then the company that he worked for thought that he was so genius and he made them so much money that they were like, hey, do you want to come up to New York and be our head of advertising? And he was like, actually, they're like, we'll make you a millionaire, which in Victorian times is like a billionaire today.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, I think I'm good. I've made all of my money that I want to. I want to pave my own path. I want to be an interior designer. So then he made this house to kind of showcase his talents and his abilities. And so what he would do is he'd have clients come and they would pick things out. They go, I like that, I like that, I like that, I want that in my house. So when he was single, that's what he would do.
Oh.
And then he married his wife, Polly a couple of years later. And this was actually an open carriageway here, from this arch here, all the way to that arch in the back there.
Yeah.
And so this would be the back of the house. And that was all bricked in. And then this was all the stables for the horses. And the horse-drawn carriages that was flush with the floor here would just come right through here. And that was his office. And
where was he originally from?
So he was originally from here, but his grandfather was from Germany.
Okay.
So that's where you get the spelling from. So when they came in, they just kind of did the Korner, phonetics.
Yeah.
So they put an E. But then when he grew up later, he was like, I want to go back to my German roots. And he put the O with the 2 dots above it, but it's pronounced Korner.
Okay. Do you think this place is haunted?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, to be absolutely, totally transparent. I don't mind. Every morning I come in and I say good morning to them.
Oh, okay.
But we have had some investigations come through, and they did catch one voice recording, and it was a woman's voice, clear as day. They were like, well, thank you so much for coming into or allowing us to come to your space and to do what we need to do. And then you hear a woman's voice go, thank you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's,
It's
yeah.
really cool.
So
we're very excited. We believe it's Polly Alice, his wife.
Oh, his wife? Okay. No, he died in this house, right?
I'm not 100% sure where he died, but I know that at one point this house also served as like a funeral home.
Oh, really?
By the family. And then where we have the visitor center, used to be the Vogler Funeral Home for Kernersville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now one more question I was going to ask is he buried here in Korner's in the area?
He is buried in Kernersville. They have a Korner family plot. And it's actually a very sweet story about how that plot came into be. They originally had Aunt Dealey, who was light-skinned but a black woman, and she took care of the family, took care of the home, took care of the kids, and she was very beloved because he was born and raised in the North.
Yeah.
So he has like different values than when he came down here. So when she passed away, he wanted to bury her in like the Kernersville regular plot, but that was like white only, and they didn't allow that.
Definitely.
So he bought a huge plot of land right next to the Kernersville like official plot, and he buried her there. And then when the family members started to pass away, some of them were buried there as well.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it was the first mixed race cemetery plot. Yeah, no, we very much like to respect them. I actually, when I went to Salem College, lived in a flat that was directly about 10 feet away from the cemetery there.
Look, yeah, she was right. The doorways are very... Look, it's like a maze in here. Look at this. And you got to really duck if you're tall in here. Okay, so that's that light just came on. Oh, wow. See, look, this is just a maze. It is like the Winchester house. Well, look at this little doorway. It's thin. Man, a big person couldn't get through that. Look at that. That's so cool. Such intricate work. That might have been his pipe. Yeah. So it was a smoking room. Okay. Cool little fireplace. This is neat. Look at that old sink. That's an old-timey sink. Oh, this old machinery from the 19th century. Summer kitchen. Old stove. Pantry, old pantry. Look at this. Oh, I love the stairwells. Okay. Oh, there's Polly. Where did Dory live?
DeRay. She's gonna.
DeRay.
You're good. Up on the second floor. Her room is the pink one. We love her very much. So after you follow us up here.
Okay.
So this is her changing room, and then up to the stairs is the kids' room, and that's where you're gonna have to duck.
Oh, there's an old hat up there. Man, just the woodwork is what I love. low doorway. Oh God, look at this. Like you literally have to be probably 5'6" to walk. I don't know. Oh, that's cool. And it looks down here. This really is like the Winchester house in a way. There's their cardboard cutout of the children. Picture of them. Kind of a window downstairs. Man, that wallpaper is amazing. Kind of give you an idea of how low that doorway is, door frame. And here's another. Yeah, you have to be well under 6 feet to comfortably walk through here. Oh, look at the old rocking horse. Now, and sometimes I don't know what's truly vintage and what isn't. A lot of the stuff is. And the woodwork obviously is. And the basic layout of the house. Look at that. But see, back then, obviously, as we were discussing, back in the 19th century, people were much shorter back then. Like somebody, like that's what Abraham Lincoln being 6'4" was a giant. And then he wore that top hat, my God, put him almost at 7 feet. So that was kind of very uncommon to be that tall back then. Now, you know, a lot of people are over 6 feet. Look at the old trains, the old toys. There's an old toy box. Old America toys. That's so cool. And I know this rocking horses. And that is so old. Look at it. Look at the face of it. Maybe it has. No, I don't know what that means. I don't want to touch anything. There's an original Pinocchio. That's probably a first edition of Pinocchio. That's too cool. That's got a kind of a creepy backstory to it. Creepy story behind it. Yeah, you'd have to look into it. Man, all these old toys are awesome. Toy horse, yellow card, man. Oh, it keeps going up. It's 3 stories. Oh, really more. The blue room. I love all of these old vintage pictures. Now, this might have been Doree's room. It might be her. They had 2 children. Look at the doll up there and that cutout. So cool. See, that's a bad thing about filming. You don't get to really take things in and just kind of take a deep breath, you know. It's just because you're so busy trying to get everything, but it just is what it is. It's still cool seeing all this stuff. The Rose Room. Okay, Dore, yeah. So she was born in 1889 here at Korner's Folly. She lived to be 99 years old. Wow. Now this looks like they could have had elaborate parties here. Oh. There's an old painting. I always love artwork. I'd love to know the story behind that painting. I'm sure she may know. Now this looks original. This is this is an original ceiling. Okay, so look at the chipped paint. Let's go up even more. So you can see we're getting high up. Yeah, this is definitely, from outside, it doesn't look as big, but this one is a mansion. Oh, man. This is breathtaking. Guys, look at this. This is how, you know, the house comes to a point, and you can tell there's the seam, kind of the A-frame roof. That would be kind of the point of the A-frame roof right there. And there's a triangular window at the very top. All these paintings are just crazy. Some of them are kind of creepy, but there's him as a young man, I guess. Maybe that's their other child. I don't know. Man. This is like a stage up here where they could have plays, you know. Okay. So you walk on. Continues. So you can walk onto the stage. What are their things with cupids? Wow, look at that. This house is just crazy. This house would be kind of scary to stay at night by yourself. Look. supposed to be one of, like, if you ever read books on the strange Carolinas or haunted books of North Carolina or the Carolinas, Korner's Folly is in the list. Joel Korner built this house in 1880 and lived in it with his family. His two daughters, one of them being Dore, that, you know, we saw her stuff in the cabinet. She you know, would have lived here for, you know, grown up here. But they said he did a lot. Mr. Korner did a lot for the community. He did a lot for Kernersville. They said he was really well dressed and well known and popular man of the town. Wow, so cool. I like this little breezeway. More. This is 17. Just think how different it would have looked looking out these windows back then. A dirt road, horse and buggies, horse-drawn carriages, but it would have been much different. Oh God. It's so hard to walk through here. Oh, that mirror's cracked. Look at the red velvet vintage chairs. Let's look at this little. I got it limbo. I know, I'm fine, but thanks. Yeah. Wow, this is another low ceiling that I'm ducking in. Yeah, just give an idea. Just this bathtub. Please do not take bath. No, I'm sorry. Just another don't touch. There's their children. Okay, so this is Cupid's Park Theater. So yeah, definitely. So I guess that's why the Cupid thing is so prominent here. So Caesar Milch was who actually painted it, but sketched by Joel. So dance parties were held here. So Polly did the sewing of the costumes. Man, that's so neat. Okay, here's another. Wow, look at this. More intricate woodwork on the sides. Are these the original stairs?
Yeah, they are.
I figured they might have had to.
Stable on this side, so then he redid it.
Yeah.
I know that you said you're not working tomorrow. Do you want to come to our Oktoberfest?
If I get a chance, it could be a possibility.
Okay, so we have
What an amazing house. We'll have to find his. We'll have to find the Korner family cemetery sometime, or the grave sites. Thank you all for joining me, and I will see you next time.